jóvenes.
Good morning, Sergeant Navarro, and this is FSBD News.
My name is Ford.
I'm Daniela.
Today we're going to start off with Latin America.
For today on Latin America, Cuba to offer limited public internet access. The government of Cuba has said it will soon expand public access to the internet, although it will maintain restrictions from the access at home. It said that 118 internet points would be set up on the Caribbean island from June 4th to allow web surfing for $4.50 an hour. Cuba's average salary is $20 a month, and it has one of the lowest levels of internet access in the world. It said that members of the public will be able to access international websites for $4.50 an hour, down from $6 or 60 cents an hour for national sites. The cost for checking emails will remain unchanged at $1.50. The government also reaffirmed that it will continue monitoring internet traffic closely. That was one of the reports from Latin America. The next one that we have is Guatemala's Alfonso Portillo pleads not guilty. Guatemala's former president Alfonso Portillo has pleaded not guilty to many laundering charges in a U.S. court. Prosecutors in New York accuse him of using U.S. banks to launder $70 in public funds while in office between 2000 and 2004. He was extradited from Guatemala to the U.S. last week and could be jailed for up to 20 years if convicted. In the past, the 61-year-old former president said he was a victim of political prosecution. His attorneys said that the prosecution was a clear case of overreaching by the U.S. Department of Justice and the U.S. government. They added that a bail amount will be sought at the next court appearance at a date yet to be set. Well, this was our reports from Latin America.
Today on the Africa News, we have Hamburg blames Italy over 300 homeless African refugees. About 300 Africans who fled the 2011 conflict in Libya are now stranded in the northern German city of Hamburg, where many of them are sleeping rough. Angry German officials alleged that Italy, where the Africans first arrived, gave them some cash and visas so they could move on to Germany. The Hamburg authorities say they are struggling to find shelter for the men and women from Libya, Ghana, and Togo. Many African refugees fled to Italy in small, overcrowded boats in 2011. The Hamburg Center for Officials and Family Welfare Issues. That was one article from Africa. This is our second news from Africa. South Africa economic growth slows to 0.9%. South Africa's economic growth slowed sharply in the first 3 months of the year. According to official figures, between January and March, the country's economy grew by just 0.9% compared with the previous quarter. The figure has raised concerns that Africa's largest economy is struggling to regain. It grew by 2.5% last year, compared with the same 3 months in 2012. South Africa's economy grew by 1.9%. Inflation is forecast to rise later in the year. It is currently running at 5.9%, just below the government's target of 6%. South Africa's economy has been struggling since a recession in 2009. Violent strikes in the mining sector last year saw output plunge. And this was the last news we had from Africa.
This is the news from the Middle East. The first news is President Suleiman Abbas is worried about the oil drop in Syria. He's worried because Syria only produces 20,000 barrels of oil, about 5% of the 380,000 barrels it used to produce before the war. Oil is the main source of revenue for them, and now that it dropped, the economy could suffer and go down as well. Without oil, they will be unable to pay for their army as well. This will make things a lot harder for them because they can't do almost anything without oil because it funds their whole government. My second article is from Syria as well. in its main Western-backed opposition, urges the European Union to send weapons to rebels. They say how the rebel groups should be armed so they can fight President Bashar al-Assad. The European unions have not supplied them with any weapons, making it hard for them to fight the president. This is making it hard for rebel groups to fight the corrupt government so they can take it over and run the government how they think they should be run.
And now for our editorial story. Our topic on our story is immigration reform. Immigration reform would help a lot of undocumented students through way of education and jobs. It would also it helped a lot of immigrant workers. It would help them improve their living for their families, their jobs, and a better wage for them. And you guys need to stop. You guys need to help. And now for our editorial story. Our topic on our story is immigration reform. Immigration reform would help a lot of undocumented students through way of education and jobs. It would also it helped a lot of immigrant workers. It would help them improve their living for their families, their jobs, and a better wage for them. And it will also help establish families and get through life. So that was our editorial story of today.
Russia sends more advanced missiles to aid Assad in Syria. Russia sent advanced anti-ship cruise missiles to Syria in a move that illustrates the depth of its support for the Syrian government led by President Bashar al-Assad. The anti-ship missiles systems provides the Syrian military with a formidable weapon to counter any effort by international forces to reinforce Syrian opposition fighters. Jeffrey White, a fellow at the Washington Institute for Near East Policy and a former senior American intelligence official, said Syrians' strengthened arsenal would tend to push Western or Allied naval activity further off the coast. It was also a signal of the Russian commitment to the Syrian government. American officials have been concerned that the flow of Russian and Iranian arms to Syria will buttress Mr. Assad's apparent belief that he can prevail militarily. This weapon transfer will set back the efforts to promote the political transition that is in the best interest of the Syrian people and the region, said Senator Bob Corker of Tennessee, the senior Republican on the Foreign Relations Committee. The missiles are about 22 feet long, carry either a high explosive or armor-piercing warhead, and have a range of about 180 miles. They can be steered to a target's general location by longer-range radars, but each missile has its own radar to help evade a ship's defenses and home in as it approaches its target. Russian officials have repeatedly said that in selling arms to Syria, they are merely fulfilling old contracts, but some American officials worry that the deliveries are intended to limit the United States' options should it choose to intervene to help the rebels. In Kathmandu, Nepal, an 80-year-old Japanese man who began the year with his fourth heart operation became the oldest conqueror of Mount Everest on Thursday. Yujiro Maru is 80 years old and 7 months. He reached the summit of Mount Everest on Thursday. He phone called his son Gato at the summit, prompting his daughter Emily to smile broadly and clap her hands in footage shown by a Japanese public broadcaster about how he had conquered Mount Everest. His son Emily Murad stated that his father doesn't really care about the rivalry of being the oldest person to conquer Mount Everest. He's just doing this as a challenge for himself. Murray conquered the mountain despite undergoing heart surgery in January for an irregular heartbeat that he's had since 2007. This was his fourth heart operation. In 2009, he also broke his pelvis and his left thigh bone in a skiing accident. This has not been Maru's first climb to the top of Mount Everest. However, he is currently the oldest person to do so. The Japanese Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshihide Suga said that this will be deeply touching to all of the people of Japan, and especially in an aging society. It will also give much courage and hope to all of the elderly people. And that was the last news story for today.
And that was the newscast on FSDB News